So, for most of us, the holiday season is the most wonderful time of the year. But for the Walt Disney Company, I don't think they feel the same way this year because the past month has been a series of missteps and just really bad timing. And now I realize this video is going to come off as negative, but here's the thing. I want to like everything Disney does. With every new announcement, addition, or decision, I want to love it because I'm a Disney fan. And I also understand that Disney is a business and they have to operate as such, and I'm good with that. However, when Disney doesn't live up to its own brand or reputation and they deliver a subpar product, as a consumer, that needs to be addressed because without feedback, how can there be a course correction? So with my disclaimer now out of the way, let's dig into what went down over the past month. And I'm going to start with a Disney Parks blog announcement from the first week of December regarding Disneyland's 70th anniversary announcement. Now, I was really looking forward to this news because Disneyland does anniversary celebrations right. Disneyland's 60th anniversary was an absolute triumph, and with very little happening at Disney World in 2025, I thought this would be the Disney event of the year. However, according to this early December blog post, apart from a costume change for Mickey and Minnie and a new version of World of Color, which are pretty routine anyway, most anniversary offerings were not new, they're just recycled. For instance, we're getting the return of Better Together, a Pixar Pal celebration, Paint the Night, and Wondrous Journeys. And granted, the latter two are fantastic, but they're not necessarily special for the 70th, and there's no clear answer to why they even disappeared in the first place. The exception, of course, is the Walt Disney Animatronic Show, which I'm very excited and curious about. But is one new offering enough for an anniversary? I don't think so. So this was a stumble right out of the gate, and I'm not quite feeling the anticipation from fans as I expected before this news dropped. Keeping it at Disneyland, let's now talk about the next mistake, which is the new Haunted Mansion gift shop, which is called Madame Leota's Somewhere Beyond. The reworked queue for the original Haunted Mansion attraction was a massive hit with guests, but this gift shop, it's been getting a lot of attention, and rightly so. This shop doesn't look like it belongs. It isn't aged, it has very little character or patina, and it just doesn't look right. I have to plug a fellow YouTube channel, Hey Bricky, who explained why it doesn't work in terms of design, architecture, function, and story. Really great breakdown, do check it out. But after some backlash about the shop making its way online, some fans then pointed out that it appears to be a prefabricated barn, like the kind you would get from Home Depot. Whether they actually ordered it or not, I can't say, but it truly does look like the prefab blueprints. And the fact that that sits kind of in front of the Haunted Mansion, which is revered for its design, history, and storytelling, just makes it all the worst. But this isn't where Madame Leota's story ends. More drama and pitfalls were revealed as the month went on, making this shop a real nightmare before Christmas for the Walt Disney Company. More on that here in just a sec. For now, we're going to switch coastlines to talk about a Walt Disney World mistake, which is the Polynesian Island Tower. On December 17th, Disney officially opened this new DVC addition to the Polynesian Resort. And full disclosure, what I'm about to say is rooted in my own opinion. You may feel differently, but this is one of the most glaring examples of the current Disney park trend of modern, sterile resort design with very, very subtle Disney theming. I think that's a mistake. Not only has the response been kind of muted about Island Tower, but my issue is if I didn't know the Magic Kingdom and Seven Seas Lagoon were outside the door, I wouldn't know I'm in a Disney World hotel. And if I could offer the Walt Disney Company a New Year's resolution, it would be to stop being afraid of its own brand. People come to Disney for Disney, and they're paying Disney prices right now for what they can experience elsewhere, and often for less. The Disney bubble at Disney World used to be a selling point where park guests would never have to leave the magic and atmosphere of the parks when they went to their rooms for the night. But this approach brings the outside world in, but keeps the Disney price tag. And I think what makes this design decision all the more jarring is that at the same time this opened, Disney fans were getting their first look at the Disney Treasure, which is hardcore Disney theming while also managing to be luxurious, up-to-date, and stylish. Basically what Disney World resorts should be. And yes, I know there's Moana splash pad outside. It's the best part of the resort in my opinion. And I am aware that the lobby design reflects oceanic culture, wildlife, and even Moana and Moana 2. But like making a joke, it loses its impact when you have to explain it. Now let's get to this year's Disney Parks Christmas Day Parade because there was a stumble or two here as well. By the way, if you want to see Disney do a Christmas parade right and one that celebrates the parks more than it does celebrities, watch the Christmas Day parades on YouTube from the 1990s. That's actually what I do now every year instead of watching the current one, but that's another story. Anyway, this year's parade included a promo for Disneyland's 70th anniversary, and I was hoping for some redemption from the Disney Parks blog post announcement. I really was, but the ad unfortunately confirmed my fears about Disney potentially budget cutting the 70th anniversary, and dare I say, it ended up being a little bit insulting to Disneyland itself. So the commercial centers on the anniversary's tagline, mantra, title, whatever you want to call it, and it's Celebrate Happy. Personally, I don't get it. Not sure how we went from Disneyland's Diamond Anniversary in 2015 to now Happy Anniversary in 2025. And I also don't think it works. It's just vague and more of a mood or vibe than an actual concrete concept. But apart from that, the ad mainly featured stage choreographed individuals getting happy about the 70th, as well as Mickey in a new outfit in front of Sleeping Beauty Castle. But here's the real problem. It's inserted onto a 3D model of Disney World's Magic Kingdom instead of Disneyland. And fans who know the maps of the parks can easily tell it's Magic Kingdom, not Disneyland, through those clouds. The fact that the ad didn't bother or simply chose not to use the park as actually celebrating was just baffling, and it really angered some fans. But as for the ad's message, I really appreciated former Imagineer Eddie Soto's comment about it on X, where he explained that ads like Happy don't sell a tangible new reason to come out, which if anything generates the real excitement. Maybe the Walt audio animatronic will. So well put. Here's to hoping that Disneyland will overhaul its anniversary ad campaign and offer one focused on the Walt Disney animatronic show, as well as Walt the Man. All right, so we are going back to Haunted Mansion's Madame Leota's Somewhere Beyond because, as I said, the gift shop situation here actually got worse as the month wore on. When the shop finally opened to guests and eagle-eyed fans were taking stock of the theming and details inside, some noticed that a few items were generic, to say the least, including a bust that's available to purchase on Amazon. But the worst was an AI portrait of a ghost bride available on Redbubble. I can forgive the vase. Disney doesn't house make all their props, never has, but the AI art just felt offensive given that Disney is known for artists and their artistry. And this, it just perfectly encapsulated fan fears of budget-friendly computerized solutions in the parks, replacing human-driven creative vision. But to make matters even worse was Disney Cruise Line unveiling the Disney Treasures Haunted Mansion parlor around the same time, which 100% lives up to the original attraction and is filled with nods and homages to the individual Imagineers and artists who created the Haunted Mansion in the first place. The fact that the parlor, which is all the way across the country and on the ocean, lived up to the Haunted Mansion standard and successfully expanded its lore, while the gift shop right next door to the original ride did not, is really hard for fans to overlook. Speaking of the Disney treasure, it certainly looks like Disney Cruise Line is where the best work is being churned out right now. And that is not a slight at any Imagineers, it's a slight at the company for seemingly prioritizing one division of the company while seemingly restraining the others. We Disney fans already know that Disney Cruise Line has 2 ships coming out next year with plans to continue expanding the fleet in the coming years. So yes, a lot of money is going in that direction. And in a recent interview with Forbes, Josh D'Amaro noted the company's awareness for more growth in the cruise segment of Disney experiences. And since the parks have been a bit of a struggle in that department, with only additional paywalls and upcharges compensating, maybe D'Amaro and Disney execs feel the cruise line is the easiest way to improve the look on those spreadsheets. He actually said in the exchange with Forbes that Disney Cruise Line generated double-digit returns on investment for shareholders. So while I admit I don't know the ins and outs of the business sector of the Walt Disney Company, but from what I've seen in these past 30 days, coupled with D'Amaro's comments, it suggests that Disney is pumping cash into cruises while cutting corners with the parks. And I think that is a massive mistake. And it's also one of the reasons why I'm continuing to lose faith in D'Amaro's leadership. All right. The last stumble from the Walt Disney Company over the past month has to be the focus on Villains Land and the lack of promos for Walt Disney World's other upcoming projects. So during the Disney Parks Christmas Day Parade, there was very little, if any, info or promo for upcoming Walt Disney World projects apart from a vague Villains Land / Villain Show ad. While the latter is coming to Hollywood studios in 2025, it's still a temporary show. And Villains Land is years away at this point, with Cars Land likely coming first. So I don't get why there wasn't more emphasis or a behind-the-scenes look of Tropical Americas, which is about to move dirt in days and has an opening timeline. Why not an emphasis on Zootopia Better Zootgether or the Magic Kingdom's new parade, the lounges? If budget was an issue, they could have at least cut together a highlight reel of the D23 announcements. But I think my issue is that the focus on Villains Land gives the impression that Disney only believes in one of its upcoming projects. And it's a missed opportunity, especially with Epic Universe opening in May, not to build up audience anticipation for what Disney intends to unveil in the next few years. So there you are. Those are a surprising string of mishaps that have unfolded within the past 30 days and that I believe need to be talked about. Because again, if we don't talk about it, if we don't give feedback, if we don't speak up when a product doesn't live up to the company's promise, it's only likely to continue. I have often said that I wish Disney was still run or at least influenced or steered by someone like Walt, not so much for innovation and creativity. Imagineers have plenty of that. Someone who speaks for families and cares about the company's reputation more than stock prices or getting on the next rung of the ladder. Since that's unlikely, we Disney fans and our families are the last defenders of the Disney brand. At least that was the intention of this video. But if you love Disney Park and Cruise Line news and analysis, and if you agree with any of my assessments today, I would so appreciate if you would give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. 2025 is going to be huge for news, and I can't wait to break it all down and share my own experiences with you. But regardless, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a magical day.